What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Btwilla's Garage. Today we're going to be sharpening the blades on my John Deere Z930M. This particular lawnmower or zero turn has a 60-inch deck. You can see that here. It's the Z-Track Pro deck, and it is the Pro 67 iron. So you can see that I've got some jack stands. I use my low profile jack to get underneath the mowing deck itself. I've got the emergency brake on, and before I get underneath it to get that center blade out, I will be putting wheel chocks behind it. With that being said, you need a 24 millimeter impact to do this properly. You could try it with a breaker bar and a piece of wood to hold the blade still, but you're going to need a lot of leverage. I found that this mid-torque Milwaukee that you can see here works great, and I've even got a high torque one that you can see there in the center on the wall, but it's a little bit larger and requires the deck to be higher up in order to fit. This mid-torque works great. So anyway, that 24 millimeter, when you put it on with the impact, you want to stay out of the way of the blade when when you're ugga-dugging it off. You don't want that blade to turn and to hit you. So just keep your hands and face and everything out of the way, but it rips it off pretty much immediately. And I'll try to show that on camera for the other two blades. So once we get the blades off, I'm actually doing a garage renovation right now, so don't mind my stuff everywhere. But my grandpa gave me this, or my dad did, who he got it from my grandpa, but this is just an old grinder that I'm going to use to make sure that these blades are sharp. And then ultimately, we're going to put the blade against a nail to get it center. I know they make fancy stuff with like ceramic bearings and whatnot to get it perfect, but this is going to work for our application here. So this is pretty much the process. I'm going to show you a couple clips, but I've been doing this stuff for years, and having the proper tools is always necessary. I'll link some of these in the description if you guys want to support the channel. The price is the same on Amazon if you went there directly, but I sure would appreciate it if you need the socket or Milwaukee, a creeper for saving your back or anything of that nature. These floors in the garage are pretty awesome too. I'll probably link those since people typically want to comment about those. But anyways, guys, this is the process. Don't forget your oil change, your fuel filter change, your air filter change as a part of your general maintenance. But keeping blades sharp, especially during the summer, is the best way to combat disease outside of spraying, Heritage and other products on fescue to promote or prevent brown spot and gray leaf spot, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and get this finished up. I just wanted to show you the proper tools needed to do this job, and we'll get this bad boy cleaned up for its next mow. So these haven't been sharpened during my ownership, and I'm approaching a year of having this mower, so shame on me. But here's the before of the first blade that I took off, and we'll get the after. So lighting's pretty terrible down here, but this is a fully torqued blade. I'm keeping my hand out of the way. This is how easily it does the job. That's out of there. Really simple. Here's that last one, guys. Easy. These things are pretty dull. It's no wonder the grass has been tearing and turning brown in the heat of June in North Carolina. Looks like a couple of them have been sharpened in the past and others haven't, but we're gonna get them right. So this is what I'll be using. So I'm gonna take the edge of the blade and just grind it to an angle, flip it, get it sharp. I've made a video on how to properly sharpen blades, and that's not the purpose of this video, is to teach you that. Mainly to teach you how to get them off, to either replace or to do this step. So I'll let you watch a more in-depth video to make sure that you're doing that correctly. But this is I don't even know when this was made. I'll have to clean that tag up and find out, but old school stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So it's difficult to do it one-handed, but this is what that process looks like. You can go back to two-handed, but just wanted to show you the process briefly. Shiny, and just to kind of show you that it is much sharper. It just slices right through that envelope. And before, as you can imagine, it did not cut in that nature. Now this isn't meant to be razor sharp, but may not be perfect, but much, much better and gonna be way healthier for the grass. All right, our last step is to find a nail or mount a nail on the wall. Try to center your lawnmower blade on it. And if you see it going one way or another, for example, if this side was further down, which it's not, this is almost perfect based on the nail test. I know there's better ways to do this. If that side was hanging down, that means it's heavier. That means we need to take more material off that side to balance it out. So, as you can tell though, it's finding center and our blade is well balanced. Got it? Good. As for the orientation of the blade, you want your blades down. You want the flat side toward the bottom and the concave side facing up. As for the orientation of the washers, you got one little washer that goes first at the head of the bolt, one large washer, and then your blade with the blades down like that. And they're all ready to go back on. All three will be in that same position. I'm gonna put mine back on in the order they came off. I'm gonna leave them on the same side, but that doesn't really matter. You can always buy new blades. I like having 2 sets in rotation. That way you can sharpen at your convenience, but you always have a sharp pair to throw the others in the garage, and on a rainy day, you can sharpen those so they're ready to swap in. Hope that makes sense. So in order to get these on tight, I do put the Milwaukee on either level 2 or level 3. I don't remember the torque, but I know that they're on good. So I normally put mine on level 2 as far as the center on the mid, the center button, the number 2 right here. And that amount of torque keeps them on really well. And you can always check them with a torque wrench per the John Deere specs. I don't have that handy, but just know they move at over 200 miles an hour, I believe. So make sure you get them on tight, especially if you're doing it by hand. So yeah, I'm just hand threading them on, getting them about as tight as I can, and then I hit them with the Milwaukee. All right, guys, well, I think that's it for the video. Don't forget to take your jack stands out before you set your jack down, and enjoy a sharp mow and healthier grass. Thanks for checking out the channel.